Okay. Who do I think is one of the most powerful thought leaders in the world of Agile, and why? I hate the phrase thought leader. I'm going to start with that. Somebody who thinks and others follow? What do the others do? Stop thinking and just blindly go on their way? So, who stands out in the world of Agile? The people that come to mind aren't Agilists. Okay. So, people like David Marquet, author of Turn the Ship Around, a captain in the American Navy, talks about turning around the USS Santa Fe, which is incredibly important in the Agile world, and particularly the adoption of Agile in organisations, because it's talking to how to bring people on without giving orders. And this is a person who is not only qualified, but has the authority to give the orders that he wants to do, and yet found it was far more effective to not. Which for me is a really interesting thing, because in the world of Agile, many people operate without authority. And how do we help people move forward, understand things, when we can't tell them what to do? And in fact, we know telling them what to do is counterproductive. So David Marquet's book is a great way of understanding a different management approach, something that leaders in organisations can adopt, and leaders at all levels of organisations can adopt, to really give agency or enable agency in those around them. Get them thinking. Because actually, if you're in an organisation where every single person is actively engaged and thinking about achieving the goals, you are way, way better than any organisation where only a handful of people are. You want to look at how do we create a place where their creativity can be brought to life, they can take initiative, their passions are allowed to flourish. Because in that space where they're allowed to think for themselves, they're allowed to move and decide, you've got an amazing thing. Which leads me to the second author that I can think of, and that is Stephen Bungay. Okay, the author of The Art of Action, another great book, another one based in the military, but those of you who know my background will likely not be that surprised. But he's talking about a similar thing from a different angle. The evolution of command, of management, of leadership in the military, and how it translates into the world of work today. And for me, it's an incredibly important book because it gives such simple answers to some of the most complex questions that we have in work today. Things like, how do we get those hundreds, if not thousands, of highly intelligent people all pulling in the same direction? Okay. The Art of Action looks at it from the lens of how did the military do that? Because ultimately, their lives are on the line. Getting this right is vital to them. So they have invested a lot of time over the hundreds of years of existing, along with a lot of intelligent people, because they do have them, okay, with the sole purpose of ending up with the outcome you look for. So the Art of Action talks about knowledge gaps, alignment gaps, effect gaps, really quite articulately, that helps leaders in organisations understand why we need to take a different approach. Why that old-fashioned way of telling people what to do, and if they don't do it, monitor them closely so that they do as they're told, doesn't necessarily lead you to the outcomes you think you'll get. Okay? And it gives them a structure to act differently. Quite a nice simple one based around the concept of back briefing. So for me, I think I'm going to stop there with those two. David Marquet, author of Turn the Ship Around, and Stephen Bungay, author of The Art of Action, are probably the two people who are, in my opinion, most influential in the Agile world today. And they're not Agilists. If you've got to this point in the video, I hope you've enjoyed it. If so, a like would be appreciated. If you want to hear more from me, more answers to questions that maybe you've got in the Agile world, please subscribe to the channel. And if you've got a question that you really want answered, drop it in the comments. I promise we'll get around to it. Thank you.